Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
Positronic hypersonic.
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about Jurassic World Rebirth, which was just released a couple of days ago. So let's get into it. As the film starts, it's 2020, 5 years before the Jurassic World incident, and a secret InGen laboratory is set up on the island of Ile Saint-Hubert in the Atlantic Ocean to create transgenic mutated dinosaurs. One of these creations, a deformed six-limbed tyrannosaur dubbed Distortus Rex, escapes containment and wreaks havoc, forcing the facility personnel to abandon the island. Flashing forward to 5 years after the Biosun incident that caused the transgenic locust outbreak, the Earth's current environment is becoming inhospitable to the dinosaurs that have been living across the world since that time, and the surviving creatures now only reside in remote locales around the world that are reminiscent of the environments where they once flourished during the Mesozoic era. Zora Bennett, a former covert operative, is recruited by Martin Krebs of Parker Genetics, a pharmaceutical company, to collaborate with paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis and team leader Duncan Kincaid on a top-secret mission to Ile Saint-Hubert to retrieve biomaterial samples from the largest remaining prehistoric specimens, which would hold the key to the development of a drug capable of helping humanity. Zora is introduced to her team, the driver and owner of the boat that they need for the mission, Leclerc, mercenary Nina, and the chief of security, Bobby Atwater. From the boat, the first creature they extract a sample from is an aquatic Mosasaurus that circles the island. On the way to collecting the sample, the team rescues a shipwrecked family consisting of Ruben Delgado, his daughters Teresa and Isabella, and Teresa's boyfriend Xavier. Later, a pack of Spinosaurus hunting alongside the Mosasaur forces the team aground, killing Bobby and Nina. During this same attack, the Delgados had fallen overboard and got separated from Zora's team after Martin prevented Teresa from calling for help. On the island, Zora's team successfully extract the second sample from a Titanosaurus, a docile herbivore, with no trouble. They then infiltrate a Quetzalcoatlus nest and manage to retrieve the third and final sample from an egg, but the adult attacks the group and devours Leclerc. With the samples collected, Zora's team heads for the abandoned facility, where they plan to be extracted by a helicopter arranged by Zora. While Zora's team was busy with all of this, elsewhere on the island, the Delgados encountered a tiny friendly Aquilus, whom Isabella named Dolores. They were then attacked by a Tyrannosaurus Rex down a river, but managed to escape using an inflatable raft. The two groups reunite at the abandoned laboratory, but are attacked by a pack of mutated raptor-pterosaur hybrids dubbed mutadors. The helicopter arrives, but is destroyed by the Distortus Rex, which then devours Martin, who tries to escape with the samples. The group manages to find a boat connected to the facility via an underground runway, and escape thanks to Duncan luring the Distortus Rex away using a flare, in a callback to the original Jurassic Park. With the samples in hand, Zora and Henry agree to make the samples open source, so that no one profits off of them at the expense of those who otherwise couldn't afford to benefit from their use in medications. And that's where the movie ended. So, I have a kind of odd relationship with the Jurassic films. Jurassic Park, of course, the original, is an absolute masterpiece. Just a fantastic movie. The second one, I guess was okay. But after that, not so much. And I think the last Jurassic World movie was just really bad. You can see my review video for that film here on the channel. But that was just a really bad movie for reasons that I explain in that particular review. And so my hopes were not high for this movie, but gosh darn it, if I didn't really enjoy it. I think this is the strongest Jurassic Park movie they've made since the original. It's really, really good. I think they kept the premise super simple, and that helped it immensely. Scarlett Johansson was really, really great in it, and does a fine job as the standout lead character in the movie. She does a great job carrying this film. She's really good. And she looks fantastic, which is awesome. I was a little thrown by the plot with the Delgado family because they didn't use them just as like additional characters to the extraction team that was just with them the whole time, which would have been one thing. Okay, they're additional characters. They used them as their own B plot. They had screen time separate from the commando team. And I thought that was weird because, they're not in the film from the beginning. So from the beginning, your focus is, okay, we're focused on this team and this is a story about what they're going to do and what's going to happen to them. And so we're watching that. But then they throw this whole other plot at you and you're like, why do I care about these characters? Whoa, what's going on? But their sort of standalone subplot that weaves back in at the end is actually enjoyable to watch. So it worked. I was dubious as it was unfolding, but when all was said and done, it worked, and I thought it was a good thing that they did. Of course, the dinosaur scenes are unbelievable, which is again saying something because in the last movie they used some practical effects, it seemed, and those did not come off well, I thought. So I was glad to see that all the effects here really, really worked. I thought it made a great deal of sense that they didn't try to tell this one as yet another story where the dinosaurs are in a park, because, that just stretches credulity after a certain time. Like, are they really going to keep putting the dinosaurs in a park environment? Like, it just doesn't make sense after a while. So I liked that. The only thing about it that was weird, and they do sort of address it in the movie, I don't know if they addressed it in a way that makes it really make sense, but they tried at least to make it make sense that these dinosaurs in this movie, which are explained to be the worst of the worst, most dangerous dinosaurs ever out of all the ones that they've brought back since the beginning of Jurassic Park. And yet they are allowed to just roam free in these parts of the world that more closely resemble the Mesozoic era than other parts of the world. And you're just supposed to buy that this doesn't represent a threat to humanity because not a lot of people live in these areas. And, world governments have all banned travel to these areas, and that's supposed to keep people out. Yet they also say that there aren't a lot of government patrols because the idea is, well, nobody's dumb enough to come out here anyway. So it's a little strange. You kind of have to buy that, A, they wouldn't have euthanized these animals by, nuking the places where they live. I say nuking, but, carpet bombing and killing them all. And that they then didn't patrol to make sure nobody goes there. Like, come on, it doesn't make sense. They kind of explain it by saying that, it was a business decision in that it makes more financial sense to leave the dinosaurs alive so that you can put them down on paper as ongoing research and development to not piss off your investors that put all the money into them, which would happen if you just killed them, which I thought was, okay, really? They're going to endanger all of you? Because, these dinosaurs are in the water, and you can say, well, they're not going to go past this part of the water because it's too cold for them or too warm for them, depending on where their natural habitat is. But that's not a guarantee. And some of them fly. So again, maybe they don't do well if they fly to another part of the world for very long, but maybe they do okay long enough to eat some people. So why would you just leave flying dinosaurs? And what if they adapted? Now you've got dinosaurs in a population center, and it didn't make sense to me that they would have led that this island where they just roam free would actually exist. But if you get past that and buy into the premise, it's a really, really good dinosaur movie and much better than the goofy dinosaur movies they've been putting out lately. For one thing, it didn't have anybody doing this nonsense to hold back a 40-ton animal, which they did endlessly in the last one to the point where it just made me laugh because it was just so ridiculous. So that wasn't in this at all, which is good. So they finally made a good Jurassic Park / Jurassic World movie since the first one. This is a good one, and everyone should go see it. I think it's a good dinosaur movie, and ScarJo is excellent in it, and it's just really, really good. But that's really it. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back soon with another video. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.